How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Relics, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we have some awesome information to talk about. Now, this is simply rumors, guys. Keep in mind, as you are watching this, that all this stuff could be proven fake at the end of the day, or it could also be proven real, depending on when that happens and whatnot. But today, we have information coming from PokeJungle.net, which is a website that I've talked about in the past. I've actually been, referencing them in, for example, the Ultra Sun and Moon days when those games were being, rumored and stuff. I actually referenced these guys when stuff was coming out, well, like the Lycanroc, the new Lycanroc form and that sort of stuff. So basically keep in mind that this is all just rumors, guys. For anybody who's new to this video or new to this channel, I talk about these things because it's just fun to speculate and kind of look over the possibilities for what the next game we're going to be getting could be. So keep in mind, if you don't want to hear stuff that could potentially be false, fake, or unreal, then don't watch this video. Feel free to leave. And if you don't want to listen to me talk about this, you can simply go to the description and check out the actual link to the article itself, or check out the Twitter account where, they pretty much point out all the things there, and actually you can see what people say about it. But either way, let's get right into it, guys. So, we have PokeJungle's post here that says, Rumor, Chinese image teases new features. Now, I assume features for this Pokemon Switch game, which is what this whole post is about. But he says here at the top as well, guys, I've said this before and I'll say this again, rumors are not facts. Keep in mind, guys, you got to differentiate rumors, which are in the middle, and then you have leaks, which are essentially, proven true information, and then you also have the last one, which is false information. Rumors are in the middle, right? They're either real or true, real or fake, sorry. Either real or fake, but, that depends on when, that's proven or not proven, so to say. But either way, let's get into it, guys. So recently, some of our loyal readers in Taiwan and China have contacted us about some information that allegedly comes from an internal working demo of the Pokemon Switch game, I would assume. Again, I must state quite plainly, this is absolutely hearsay until we have verifiable evidence. We won't be posting any images, but we can break down what was seen to be shown along with some generalization we can draw from it. Now, seen in the actual image. Now it says PokeRide seems to be coming back, or at least the concept of riding Pokemon in the overworld. A trainer uses Lapras to navigate a water-based trial. The bulky gear that Lapras wore in Generation 7 is gone, but the trainer still appears to have a helmet and sports outfit on while riding. So apparently this is trying to point out that we're going to be getting the same features we had from Sun and Moon. We can ride your Pokemon. You have the, the PokeRide kind of accessibility to be able to ride Tauros and on Charizard to fly places, and Lapras for water and stuff. That's going to be returning, but they're going to be removing, I guess, gear from the Pokemon. Now, again, keep in mind, this stuff could be just BS, but it seems logical they would bring that back because I guess it's easy to do, and, they kind of went with that in Sun and Moon, so bringing it back would make sense because you don't want to go back in the way you do things. You want to, make progress, and you make progress the best if you, remove things from the past and you continue with what you made, recently. And they would probably never bring back, like, bikes and stuff. They mostly just keep doing, the PokeRide stuff, so that makes sense. Either way, so they then say here, following Pokemon may also be coming back. This is one where I'm a bit sketched. I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you when you say that, because following Pokemon, even for the Switch, I think it's unlikely they'll bring that feature back. Even though, for those of you who do not know, we actually did have following Pokemon animations and running animations for Pokemon in Sun and Moon. This is not even a joke. This is literal proven stuff, right? We had running animations and following animations, that sort of stuff, in Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon as well, for every single Pokemon. That's kind of insane. We had that. The thing, though, was, I guess they just couldn't implement it and make it work because of the limitations of the 3DS being not able to, render out that many different, 3D models on screen at the same time without causing lag or issues or, that sort of stuff. So I assume that's why they did that. But either way, now, they say here, though, like, following Pokemon may also be coming back. Whether any Pokemon can follow you or just a select few remains to be seen. So this is very, interesting, because they do point out that maybe it isn't every Pokemon, but maybe a select few can actually follow you, maybe, specific ones. But either way, in the demo, an Eevee perched on top of its trainer's head while riding through the water on Lapras. So you have a Eevee perched on the top of its trainer's head while riding through the water on Lapras. It's hard to imagine something bigger having that much leeway or how it would be handled. It follows that Eevee would stay outside of its Pokeball while walking as well. So apparently, there may be following Pokemon. Again, keep in mind, guys, take all of this with a pinch of salt. At this point, we have literally an ocean of salt, but, take it with a pinch of salt, guys. Either way, so battles start by running into a Pokemon. Not by a wild encounter, I guess. Or at least it seems like it. Unlike previous installments in which players would randomly trigger battles while walking through grass or surfing across the water visibly and clearly show Pokemon models on the route swimming underneath you. Whether they aggressively try to chase you down or not is also remain to be seen. So apparently this says that we're not going to be actually going through grass to find Pokemon, but instead they're going to be in the wild around us, which honestly, this is something that I've seen a lot of people say, like, oh, we don't want that. Guys, that's like the most cool innovation they could pull. That's something that I've always wanted to see. And honestly, if they did that, I would be super excited. Now, again, I should also keep my, my hype levels because on the low blow, on the low, because again, this could all just be BS, this could all just be a hoax. So keep that in mind. But if they did that, I would be happy with that. Let me know in the comments down below, actually. What do you guys think about that? Do you actually think that makes sense? Would you actually want to see that happen? Or do you think it's not worthwhile and it's not worth actually, having? Or would you just want to keep it the old way where you just go through grass? Because I would actually love if we could just find Pokemon around us in the wild and that's how we encountered them. Because that would remove the whole concept of like, oh, I have to walk through this grass, literally forcing me to, get involved and whatnot. I would actually want Pokemon to be around me and I can actually walk up to them, or they will run against me, towards me rather, and actually attack me. By the way, now he says here, one more thing. The route looks suspiciously like one we've traveled before in a previous game. So this could actually be pointing at us getting a reboot/remake, because we've heard stuff from, the Chinese Riddler, the Japanese Riddler, which you guys know I did a video on the other day, that the games are going to be reboots. But then again, a reboot can be two different things. A reboot can just be a recreation of the previous, iterations of that specific franchise, or it could be a restart of the whole franchise. You can reboot the whole of, like, let's say the Marvel franchise. If you just decide to reboot it, then, all the previous movies, they're kind of done for, but you'll bring back the characters from it and do them in a different way. So that's the same thing you can do here. They can reboot the whole of Pokemon and go back to Kanto or maybe Johto or Hoenn or whatever you want to go. They can go back to one of those generations and then bring back, maybe characters can be brought back, but the whole world might be, different, and the way things, turn out, the story and that sort of stuff may be different. So if you go back to Kanto by any chance, which I know a lot of people don't want that, I understand it. I'm fine if you don't want to go back to Kanto. I wouldn't mind, but I also understand if you don't want to. If they do go back there, do understand, guys, that if they do end up doing that, it's most likely not going to be the Kanto we're used to. It's going to be a different Kanto with new Pokemon and new stuff. Keep that in mind, because keep in mind, the Pokemon movies were also rebooted. Just keep that in your head. The Pokemon movies were also rebooted. And look at them. They're just like the same journeys, but you have Pokemon from generations, different generations. Like, for example, if you look at the Pokemon I Choose You movie of Ash's, rebooted journey, you have stuff like Piplup. You have stuff like, you have Pokemon that are not supposed to be there. Marshadow. What's Marshadow doing in Kanto? It makes no sense, right? Well, that's my point. A reboot wouldn't mean that we would need to, go back to exactly the same thing we had in the past, but rather go back to the past and recreate the things and, restart them, so to say. But I think that would make sense. And then he says also here at the end as well is, again, remember, this could all be an elaborate hoax to fool Pokefans. Don't emotionally invest yourself in these rumors. Just read them and let us know how you feel about them below. Same way I'm going to ask you guys. Just don't assume this stuff is real until proven otherwise. Until it's proven real or false, just don't get emotionally invested. Don't get crazy hyped or crazy disappointed or crazy angry. Keep in mind, this could all mean nothing. This could mean literally nothing. I'm just sharing this information because I'm interested in this sort of stuff and I want to know your opinions on it. But we're not done yet, guys. I did also get something sent to me, which I didn't want to make a video on because I just feel like it's regurgitated information from somebody else. So I didn't want to talk about it, but it was tweeted at me by a viewer. Nate here says, at RigPop, I had a small conversation with this guy. Very interesting stuff, video worthy. And I actually looked at it and I was like, it's hard for me to believe anything he says, considering he just reiterates information I've heard from PokeJungle. If I was able to see the image, I'd be more likely to believe it. But since I have no clue if any of this is real, it's hard to believe even slightly, to even slightly trust it. And the same thing goes for the PokeJungle post. I'm interested. It sounds like it could be real, but at the same time, though, unless I see the image, I won't trust that it's true until it's proven otherwise. That's why I'm waiting. And so far, that's why I didn't make a video on this 2 days ago when this information came out. I waited specifically to see if they would be able to prove it was false within a day or two. And they didn't end up doing that, so I decided, hey, let's talk about this, okay? And also, the same thing goes with this post right here. So he links me a post, I go to it, and it's this random Twitter account that only has one follower, which is me, and I followed them because I wanted to see if maybe I could get in touch and ask about this stuff and these images, if I could possibly see them, but again, he didn't really say much about that. And this is a different guy who also mentions images he's received. So he says here, disclaimer, if hashtag Pokemon for hashtag Nintendo Switch is not revealed within 2 weeks from today, you can disregard all the information following. So he gives a disclaimer at the start. He says the game has said to have been worked on in concept since early 2015 when Game Freak received Nintendo Switch prototypes. Now this would make sense, right? Because think about it. in 2015, the new Nintendo CEO took over, and he's also an individual who's always pressured the Pokemon Company and Game Freak into putting out more games. So it would make sense that when when 2015 rolled around, he took control of, he took over the Nintendo, as a CEO or Nintendo president or whatever. He took it over and he pressured him into starting working on a different game. Now we do also know that either it was the CEO or the president of the Pokemon Company or Game Freak that said that he didn't like the Nintendo Switch at the time when when it was first shown to them. They didn't like the idea of it and they didn't want to make a game for it, but his opinion was changed once the Nintendo Switch became a successful console in 2017. So they could have been working on some sort of prototypes ahead of time, and then once 2017 rolled around and things went good for the Nintendo Switch, they were like, we're on board, we're gonna make a Pokemon game. So it could be something like that. But either way, here we go. So, HMs are still replaced by borrowed Pokemon. Lapras is still used for surfing. So this is what I mean by regurgitating information or retelling information that we've heard previously, because why would your post come a day after the post from PokeJungle saying the exact same info? I don't really trust that. So he says, HMs are still replaced by borrowed Pokemon. Pokemon under a certain size threshold can follow you around. Eevee, Pikachu, as well as a small Tiki and a cute elephant Pokemon. Now, this is really what sketches me out, right? He mentioned elephant Pokemon, which is something that we've also seen from the Italian leaker, but I'm going to just call him the Italian rumor dude. He essentially has also mentioned stuff like that. And there are a few regional variants, which, again, regional variants could also be referring to the rumor, or rather the information or hints I got from the Japanese Riddler. He was referring to some sort of new form of Pokemon. They could be just these new regional variants or these new forms. But either way, so let's continue. Encounters are no longer completely random. There are still some instances where you're able to avoid encounters, but for the most part you will see them coming, similar to moving shaking grass or tree rustles in Pokemon Sun and Moon. There is a new quest system that involves you searching out and defeating a dangerous threat, or finding a lost Pokemon for rewards like special Pokemon. You have a digital assistant on a Pokedex/smartphone device that will help you navigate and record the current objectives. Weather is dynamic with a forecast you can view from said device. I was shown a screenshot of a large city that looked reminiscent of Castelia City, as well as a new jungle-like area I did not recognize. Trainer customization seems to be returning, as I saw multiple styles of clothing on a seemingly same-looking trainer. Protagonists look older than a child, young adult age. Okay, fair enough. There's also some dialogue from an NPC. Okay, let's see. There's also a dialogue from an NPC, which, when translated, read something along the lines of, "I've heard this is a Pokemon, but it never moves. I've heard this is a Pokemon that never moves. I wonder if it's actually alive." Now, this is similar to the actual starter rumor from the Italian leaker, who said that that basically there's this quote that says its face is this and this. Does it actually have a face? Or those eyes on its face, or whatever? That's a similar quote like that. You know what I mean? So either way, he says here, that's all I have. See you in 2 weeks, is what he said. Again, I don't trust this. I have a hard time trusting any of this, but I did see some tweets here where people asked him, for example, Nate, the individual who, atted me here and said, "I'm very curious of where you got your info. Haven't seen any information about the games in such detail. Do you think there will be a direct in the coming 2 weeks?" And he says, "I received my info and a few screens from a Chinese man with very broken English. I don't speak Chinese at all, really, but try to communicate the best I could. I recently lost contact with him, okay? He had said before to expect the reveal in early April at the latest. The screens looked very legitimate, and I'm under confidential agreement not to share them, but as with everything, you should be skeptical, which is why I put a disclaimer at the beginning. I'm ready to abandon these claims if we don't get a reveal when he said. So, Pokemon coming this year, all signs point to yes. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. So it's the same graphics as Sun and Moon. If it hasn't been worked on since 2015, I would certainly hope not. No, the graphics are not the same as Sun and Moon. It's not a huge upgrade at first glance. It's a nice one. It's hard to explain the art style, but I think people will be pleased with it. So, I don't know if that, contradicts what we heard right here. I think it was right around... Where was it, actually? It was, right here. The graphics seemed adequate in nature and probably what fans would be expecting going from handheld to console. Again, I'm happy as long as the graphics end up being just decent. But we've heard about graphics a lot, which I want to bring up a final thing here, guys, because this video is already 14 minutes long. I might as well make it, a minute longer just to get some more points across to kind of connect all these things together, right? So first things first, vegetable cooking. this could all just be fake what he's saying here. I don't trust what he's saying based on the fact, like, I literally tweeted that right here and said, I don't trust this, which is why I'm not making a separate video on this post. I'm including in this video just to kind of point it out, which is, the whole video is about this post, actually, but this one is very similar, and it says something's gonna happen in 2 weeks, which, again, I don't believe that. I really don't believe something's gonna happen in 2 weeks. I'm way too skeptical for that happening, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Either way, though, but I don't 100% trust this. It has some info that, like, regurgitates information from this post. This post, I'm a bit skeptical until I see the image, or until we get some images shown. What else? Well, the next thing I want to talk about is the graphics. We'll see something happen. For those of you who do not know the Chinese Riddler, now the Chinese Riddler, guys, was an individual who actually leaked the final starters. He leaked the full images of the final starters for the Alolan starters. Now, he leaked the final evolution, the final evolutions of the starter Pokemon. That's what he ended up doing. But what's important about this guy is that he's leaked stuff before that as well. He was leaking the Sun and Moon logos ahead of time. He leaked the starter evolutions ahead of time. And also, the guy has talked about the next games being reboots. And there was one thing happening on the website where this Chinese Riddler resides. The website called Tiaba or something like that. Tiaba? Something like that. I don't know. But something happened on that website. And that was that one of the higher-ups in the Pokemon section of that forum, or whatever you want to call it, that website, the higher-up there, which was an admin, he actually posted that he thinks the graphics look trash on the Switch game. That he's been seeing images of it, some prototype images, and that he thinks it looks pretty poop. Which, I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm happy if the graphics are as good as Sun and Moon. That's where I'm happy. I'm like, that's cool. Sun and Moon were great looking. The only problem was that it was just like the limitations of the 3DS that kind of limited that, those games. But if they were on a handheld, like the, not a handheld like the 3DS, but rather on a console, home console, like the Nintendo Switch, they would probably look a million times better. So, I don't know. I mean, I digress. My point is, a lot of things flying around, a lot of rumors. I decided to keep these two in the same video because I didn't want to, like, just drag it out and make 2 videos on the same thing, because literally they say the same info, except this one has more stuff, but also I trust this one way less than I would trust this one. But then again, all this could be fake. All this could be just nothing. It could be a nothing burger, so keep that in mind, guys. Either way, it's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a like down below. Let me know in the comments down below what do you think about all this stuff. Do you actually like the info you're hearing here? Do you think it's stupid? Do you think it's bad? Have you found any information? Let me know on Twitter, guys. I'm always active. I've got my Twitter up all the time. Just, check out my Twitter in the link description down below if you want to hit me up about any, any information, any stuff. Either way, thanks so much for watching. My name is Rallet. Have a good day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen. Damn, that's actually really weird, though. Like, a lot of info.